Hi, I'm John with orourkeleather. This video is going to be a kind of a follow-up video from that L-frame video I did years ago. I should have done this one a lot sooner, but I just never got around to doing it. There was a couple of things. One, nobody's working the camera, so I won't have the ability to zoom, but I'll try my best to make this a halfway decent video. The other thing is I went, I got a couple of guns out and I went in there and I ran out of L-frame holsters, because it's an L-frame video. No 4-inch, 3-inch, and 2.5 nothing. But I found a 3-inch that's not finished. So since it's not finished, I can actually use that to answer another question. I wanted to focus on two questions that are common when people call me to order a holster, but now I'll do a third question on this video as well. So a lot of times if you order a holster from me, say 10 weeks, 12 weeks go by, something like that, you shoot me an email, "Hey John, I was just checking on my holster," and you get this strange response from me. It's usually, "Well, your holster's done, but it needs more sunshine and oil." You're thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about, sunshine and oil? Just build me my holster and mail it to me. Well, it kind of don't work that way because I don't use pre-dyed leather. Everything we do, unless it's, the purses or something like that, but holster-wise, everything, or black, but holster-wise, everything we do is oil finished, which means it has to go outside. So the leather I start with, it looks like that. That's Wickett & Craig Tannery out of Pennsylvania, in my opinion, the best leather for holster building on the market. And that's the color it looks. So this one, like I said a minute ago, is unfinished. So this one only probably has, 2 coats of oil on it, maybe four days out in the sun, not very much, maybe not even a week. And you can see the color difference. I mean, it's coming along nicely, but it's not there. So this one, that's a finished product. That's, that's a beauty. That's about as good as I can get. That's what I try to achieve. And you can see the color differences there. So if you get, good blue sky days, which here in North Alabama in the spring and fall, we get a lot of them, but this time of year we get very few. It's hazy, hot, humid, just, horrible weather here. The past 3 weeks, thunderstorms, tornado watches like every other day. It's just, the weather is crap. So it's hard to whap out a lot of holsters really quick, because in here I can build holsters, but sitting out in the sunshine, that's what kills me as far as time goes. And then occasionally you'll get like 2 weeks of really blue sky days, and that's the color you get. Now I can't get that hardly ever because of the sun situation here. And I like it pretty good. I mean, I like them all. Most people think that one's a little bit too dark, but that cherry color. But that's what you get with really beautiful blue sunshine, blue sky days. This is what I try to get all the time, because I can repeat it. I can keep reproducing this over and over and getting the same consistency, the same color. And that's what I want. So that way, if you get a holster from me, 5 years, got one from me 5 years ago, and then you want another one, who knows, next week or something, you're going to get that color or something pretty close to it, because I can, redo this pretty consistently. So when you get that strange email, it's waiting on oil and sun. That's what I'm talking about. So that's, that was, that addressed that. I wasn't going to do that, but since I had that unfinished holster, may as well go ahead and do it. So the next question that I get pretty often when people are going to order a holster, and it's a good valid one, is when they say, "Hey John, I got a 686. That's what video is mainly about, the variation of a 686 6-shot 357 and a 686 plus, which is a 7-shot 357. they make it in a fluted cylinder and unfluted cylinder. So a lot of people, when they call, now John, mine's an unfluted cylinder. Okay, don't worry about it. So in case you don't know what that means, I'll explain that. I'll try to do it really quick. So this is the 586 5-shot 44 special. This is 696, sorry. This is the one that was in that old video. So if you look on here, in between the chambers is these chamfers. That's called flutes. So this would be called a fluted cylinder. So when I mold these holsters, I don't mold those flute lines in it. And the reason is a 5-shot or a 6-shot, like this one, the flutes won't be in the same spot. So if I go ahead and mold that and then I put the lines in there, when you holster the gun, if you have a 5-shot, a 6-shot, or a 7-shot, it's going to hang up on the high spot. And that's not good. It'll, drag in the holster. It's just all around. It's just not good. It's not a good build. So I don't do it. The way I do them is I take all of my aluminum guns, regardless of whether it's Smith & Wesson, Colt, Ruger, whoever, and I weld or I use epoxy, and I'll epoxy the cylinder flutes closed. So that way when I mold any revolver holster, there's no cylinder flute molding. It's just all smooth, like an unfluted cylinder. So this would be considered an unfluted cylinder, and then this would be considered a fluted cylinder. So that takes care of that. So all of mine are molded unfluted. And then the third question, this one gets a little bit tricky. So when people call and order a holster, and hey John, I need a holster. Okay, so they searched me out on however they found me, or maybe they've already been buying from me, or whatever the case is. Well, not if they've already been buying from me, because then they would already know me. But new customer, hypothetically, calls, hey John, I need a holster. Okay, what do you got? I got a 686 plus. Okay, I got a holster for it. Now remember, plus is bigger. No, it isn't. Well, yes, it is. It's 7 shots. It's not 6 shots, it's 7 shots, so it's a bigger gun. No, it isn't. Okay, so now here's the conundrum. I'm on the phone, and I have a customer who wants my product, and they're telling me that my product isn't going to fit their gun. So how do you address that? Do I say, oh, well, you're wrong? No, you can't do that. I mean, you got to be friendly to people, and you got to be tactful, but you can't, if somebody is adamant and they think that their gun is bigger or different, and you're trying to tell them otherwise, really you can't make the sale. I mean, it's basically a done deal. You can't sell that person a holster. So the whole point of what I'm getting at here is I want to put this one to rest. So if the 686 6-shot and the 686 plus 7-shot are the same size, one is 6, one is 7 shots, how did Smith & Wesson do it? Let me run through it real quick, and this will put this one to bed. So when you're talking about the frame, 686s are L frames. So from my shop standpoint, we only do 4. We do J frames, K frames, L frames, and N frames. N being the biggest, J being the smallest. Now there's a caveat to the K and the L frame, and purists who are watching this video are going to probably make some negative comment because of what I'm about to say. Okay, the barrel doesn't count as far as the frame goes, even though that's the forcing cone right there, and that's the end of the barrel, so that'll give you variation this way. But for these, it doesn't matter, because the cylinder is the same diameter and the same length. So the window, frame window, this is the top strap, this is the bottom of the frame. This is what we're concerned with right here. This part is the grip frame. Again, like I said, the purists are going to say, well, it's the same as the frame, okay, well, you're kind of right. If you're talking about a single action army Colt or something, the grip frame actually can be detached from the main part of the frame, where this is integral, so you can't. For our purposes, let's just agree, this is the grip frame, this is the frame, this is the barrel. So this is a square butt grip frame, this is a round butt grip frame, and they're both L frames. What I said a minute ago, the caveat is on a L frame and a K frame, or a K frame and an L frame, the grip frame is the same size. So you can interchange grips, providing it's either a round butt or a square butt. But the frame between a K frame and an L frame is different. It's about 1/8 of an inch. So when somebody says my gun is bigger, well, the frame can't be bigger, because if it is, Smith & Wesson already has that, and it's called an N frame. So this is an L frame. So an L frame is what it is. It's not a bigger frame. So that we already know. Smith & Wesson already decided that one for us. Okay, well, they made the cylinder bigger to fit the extra. No, they didn't. Well, why not? Because then it won't fit in the frame window. There's virtually no room here. So it has to fit within this parameter. I mean, you only have so much space in this window, so the cylinder has to be the same diameter. What is it? When I measure mine, and all of them, I get 1.55. So if you call Smith & Wesson and you say, hey, I have a 686, and you know, what's the diameter of a cylinder? Smith & Wesson is going to tell you 1.5 inches. And they're right, because they built it. I mean, it's theirs. So then you say, okay, well, I actually have the plus, the 686 plus, which is 7-shot, and they're going to say, it's the same size. Oh, it is? Yeah, it's 1.5 inches. So now you're thinking, well, how did then, if the frame is the same and the cylinder is the same, how did they do it? Well, this is how they did it. So in between each chamber is called webbing. So if you put a couple of rounds in there, on the 6-shot version, you can see some room in between the case heads. On the 7-shot version, they're almost touching. There's very little room. I never put a feeler gauge in between them, so I don't have the exact number for you. I mean, I could do it, but I never did. But so what they did was they made the webbing less. There's less room. They squeezed it down, rotated it, and added another chamber, another bore. So now there's 7 holes in that same circumference where there was 6. And that's how Smith & Wesson did it. They made the webbing skinnier, closer together, so that the case heads are almost touching. And there is just enough room to squeeze that extra round. That's how they did it. They didn't make a bigger cylinder. They didn't make a bigger frame. They just removed some material, rotated it, and added an extra hole. That's what it boils down to. So if you're trying to explain that to somebody, I thought about like maybe a compass or something, 360 degrees, and then, you get too many numbers, and it's like watching paint dry. You don't want to sit there and watch me do a video, spitting out all these numbers. It's, boring. So I thought, well, what about just an analog clock, and instead of 24 hours or 12 hours, do it at 60 minutes. Pretty easy. So if you look at it, like this is a watch or a clock, and it's 60 minutes. So if you divide 60 by 5, you get 12 minutes, 24 minutes, 36 minutes, 48 minutes, and 60 minutes. And there's your 5 holes. Same thing with this one. So you look at it the same way. This one's 6. So 6 into 60 is, 10. So you get 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and 60 minutes. There's your 6. So that's 2 on the same size, same diameter cylinder. There's a 5-shot, a 6-shot, and then the 7-shot, I had to write it down because I can't remember it. So if you do 7 shots into the 60, you get 8.57, and then it'll be 17, 14, 25, 71, 34, 38, 42, 85, 51, 52, 42, 59, 59, which is 60. So there's your 7 shots into the same circumference, same cylinder or diameter, which is 1.5 inches. So all of them are 1.5 inches. You got one that's a 5 shot, one that's a 6 shot, one that's a 7 shot. That's how Smith & Wesson does it. So if you decide to order a holster from me, rest assured it will fit your gun. It'll be right, it'll be unfluted, and regardless of whether it's if you order an L frame holster, a 4-inch, a 3-inch, or 2.5-inch, it will be specifically for that, but it will fit say you order a 3-inch holster, it'll fit the 44 special, the 5 shot, the 6 shot, or the 7 shot. So I hope that cleared that one up, and that's the end of that one. We don't have to have that conversation again. So anyway, I hope this video was pretty good. Like I said, I'm doing it by myself, so I couldn't zoom in. I'm trying to do it in one take because I'm not good at video editing. I'm going to try to do some other videos, especially on J-frames, because you can get really in depth in those, and maybe it'll be interesting for somebody to watch. So anyway, I hope you like this video, and I'm going to try to do some more.